One of the biggest stories coming out of G20 this year is the US, India, EU, and some Middle Eastern countries have agreed to develop what is the equivalent of One Belt, One Road. Now, I would say equivalent is actually not, because it talks about using railway and ports to build a shipment route from India to Europe. Now, I would have the following questions. Number one, if you just go by ship, it's probably more efficient than using ships and rail. You got to load and unload, and then load and unload again. It doesn't make any sense in terms of efficiency. Number two, building railway. My goodness, I haven't seen any new railway built in the US for decades, maybe half a century. Or India, I don't see them as having the expertise to build railways throughout the Middle East and South Asia. Then also ports. Who's been building the ports? With One Belt, One Road initiative, China's been building ports in many countries in the world, One Belt, One Road countries, including Portugal, in fact. So again, I just don't see how this route would do anything. In fact, I don't believe it will actually be built, because I don't see where the money is going to come from. I don't see where the expertise is going to come from. I don't see where the construction engineers will come from. So it's another hype story to counter the success of One Belt, One Road that China has been able to achieve. But it's not unusual for the US to be pushing or promoting this. I remember last year, US came up with an Indo-Pacific economic framework, and it was a big story. It's supposed to counter the Chinese influence all over Asia. But let's see, where is it now? It's still on paper, and still loosely on paper. Nothing substantive has come of it yet. This will be another one. Nothing will come substantively out of this. So you want to have a new corridor that goes from India all the way to Europe to counter China's Belt and Road. Now, aside from the fact that it's really inefficient to break the trip into two parts using ship and train, there's another very important issue. What will you ship? What will you transport? India is not a major manufacturing power, and it probably will not be for decades to come, because it lacks infrastructure domestically to efficiently produce and manufacture. So you build this passageway, this transport network, to do what, I wonder? Is India capable of buying all the things from Europe, or is Europe ready to buy things from India? Again, there are some real economic issues here. Why do this if there's no purpose to do it? Nothing to ship on it, nothing to transport. This made me think about what happened last week. The largest Russian bank in Beijing asking about what to do with all their Indian rupees, because the Indians use rupees to buy oil from Russia over the course of the last year and a half at a discount. Now they have a big problem. They're sitting on billions and billions and billions of rupees, but there's nothing they can buy from India. I think the Europeans or the Easterners will also discover that there isn't very much they can buy from India, at least for the intermediate future. We certainly hope India can develop quickly and set up their domestic infrastructure and domestic manufacturing capacity properly and efficiently. But given how they've performed in the last several decades, it's something that is, I think, still pretty far into the future.